Like, you guys know what a cell is? A cell is the smallest living thing that we're made out of. It's like a little human. The cell has a membrane, there's a skin, and it has actual organs inside that do things. Those organs are called organelles. It's too easy. Once you figure out little tricks, those are gonna really help you like learn faster and memorize stuff. Okay. So after here, after the arterioles, they get smaller, right? They're gonna get even smaller. One step smaller. And when they get smaller, now they're microscopic, they're so small, and the walls of those vessels are so small that it allows for molecules to transfer between as needed, just like the capillaries over here. So we have capillaries at the alveoli, because that's where gas exchange happens, right? And we have capillaries down in this level, and I'll tell you what this level is, like where actually we are in the body, okay? But so capillaries are in the tissue, and so here we have the reverse. Now we're dumping off the oxygen and we're picking up the CO2. And to this point, we haven't talked about where CO2 comes from yet, right? The only we have. So you're about to find out, so it's gonna make a lot more sense right now. So, but before I get any further, I will talk about this. That way this can make more sense. The little mini lecture makes more sense, okay? Okay, so that's a human. That is what you guys all look like to me. Okay. That is a human being. What are humans made out of? Chastity? What are humans made out of?
Made out of freaking tissue.
Organ
and air and organ tissue and I don't know about
okay.
oxygen.
So humans are made out of organs. Okay? Like my lungs are organs.
Tissue.
Yeah, my organs are a tissue.
And then my tissue
My lungs are an organ. My heart is an organ. My liver is an organ. They're all different organs,
every
right?
organ.
And then organs are made out of tissue, right?
Yeah.
The way I want you to think about this to make it simple and it might help is like those pants are made out of probably, I don't know, let's say cotton, right?
Cotton.
Those are made out of jean. Make fun of my faults and I'll make fun of your faults and see how you like it. Okay? But they are both pants. You guys get that? Tissue. These are made out of different material. That is cotton, that is jean. But we make pants. It's like organs are organs. There's different types of tissue that makes different types of pants. That'll kind of, so you guys aren't thinking about it too much. You don't think about it too much. Tissue, my skin is tissue. My eyeball is tissue. My nail is tissue. Everything is tissue. There's just different kinds of tissues because like there's different kinds of pants. Okay, different material, but they all make similar stuff. Organs are organs. Different kinds of organs, different kinds of tissue, different kinds of pants. Okay, so what is tissue made out of? Cells. Tissues are made out of cells. Okay. So I'll get to it right now. So this right here at the capillary level, where the gas exchange happens, we're at the tissue level that make the organ. So let's pretend that this right here is a little piece of this organ, the pancreas. Let's say this is the pancreas. So we just took a little chunk, and now we're seeing what happens at this level, down below. That's why I said, like, if you guys were to watch that show, the episode, because my kids watched it, that's why I saw it. And it would be just like that. You would see pipes, you would see valves, you would see pumps. It's a system, it's a mechanical system, it's organic, okay? So at this level, what we're doing now is we're here. And all that oxygen that we got from here and pumped to the tissue, all that O2 is now being dumped off. Okay, so all that oxygen that's in the vessels, we're dumping that oxygen down into the tissue. Okay? So let me go back to this. So that oxygen eventually is going to make it into the little mini humans that make you, the cells. Okay? That oxygen specifically needs to go into the organelle of the cell called the mitochondria. The mitochondria, think of it as P, G, and E. It's the powerhouse. This is what keeps you alive. These mitochondria in the cell is the reason you're alive. This is where the energy comes so you can do whatever you want to do, talk, breathe, move. It comes from these in every single organ that's in every single tissue, okay? So it's a whole bunch of them put together. So the O2 is gonna make it in here, into the mitochondria. But we're about to come into how carbon dioxide is made, where it comes from, right? But in the mitochondria, you need something else. So in the mitochondria, inside the cell, oxygen meets something called glucose. You know what glucose is?
I've heard of that.
That for your
I've heard about it in
diabetes.
science.
It's sugar. It's sugar. Your body makes its own sugar, but it's super important.
High and low, but you can't be up like a 10 or 11.
Don't worry about that stuff. Because you don't even need sugar. Because we make if you eat sugar, all that sugar is extra sugar because your body makes its own sugar, and that's how fat is made. Fat is stored sugar. We eat too much sugar and we eat too much carbs. Therefore, we get chunky. So that's what that means. But sugar is super important, but our body makes sugar. That's what I'm saying. So it's called glucose. All right, so glucose. And those two will keep you alive. When those two meet here in your little powerhouse, you make something called, and don't worry, don't get freaked out. Just right now, it's ATP. That's energy. It's adenosine triphosphate, don't worry about that. But if you go into the EMT side of things, next semester, you're gonna know this thing very intimately. You're gonna know all this very intimately. Like too easy for you guys. Okay, this is energy. Okay? And from making energy, every time we make energy, we have a byproduct, there's a waste. That waste is carbon dioxide. So it's gonna dump out CO2 back into the tissue. And that's where CO2 comes from. Okay? And then maybe this might make it easier for you guys, I don't know. We're like cars. We're like cars. What comes out of that exhaust pipe? If it's a gasoline car?
Gas.
Carbon monoxide, CO instead of CO2, one less molecule. So if it's a car, what does it need? It needs gasoline, right? If it's a gas car. So gasoline plus the oxygen inside the motor in the pistons, it makes a spark, right? You need gas, you need oxygen, the pistons to make the spark that makes the car go forward. Okay, so these two combined in the engine make that spark that make the car go forward. And what's the byproduct of that? What comes out of that exhaust? I just said it. CO comes out. But this just goes out into the environment. We got to push it out through our airway system. It gets back over here. We're about to go get into like how it gets back and how we push it out. Our gas is glucose. It's still a G. And we also need oxygen, which meets in our pistons, our powerhouse. And our energy is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And that's what keeps you going forward. And the waste is CO2. Everything works the same way. Anytime I make anything, there's gonna be a byproduct. A byproduct is a waste. If I'm a carpenter and I make you a chair, the waste is wooden shavings, right? If you get a paper thing and make a little machete thing or something, you're gonna have scraps of paper. I don't care what you do or what you do, everything works the exact same way. So that should help you understand this more, okay? So now, because we've been making energy, because you're doing stuff, right? Because you're alive and you're moving, so you need O2, you need glucose. We have a whole bunch of CO2 here just dying to get picked up, all right? So just waiting to get picked up. And I'll use the green for this one. Does it make a little bit of sense? A little bit? If you guys be watching, it might make more sense. So now we have CO2 here because we've been making CO2 because we've been making energy because O2's been coming. Okay, so we have CO2 just waiting to get picked up. As O2 is coming, CO2 is then getting picked up by the same capillaries. Okay? I might actually finish this. What? Well, the last class, that's right. I just got you right there. Go ahead. There's gonna be a video so you can watch it. I'm gonna post it. That's what I'm doing for you.
Oh, my knees just popped.
Okay. So from here, all right. Arteries do what, Marisol? Arteries do what? It's a directional term. You only have two options. What do arteries do? Do they take blood to or away from the heart?
Oh, they take blood away from the heart.
Away, good. So right here, we took all that blood away from the heart, right here, and we dumped that oxygen at the tissue level, right? Where it's gonna make its way to the cell, and CO2 was made as a result.
Right.
So now we're going back to the heart because we gotta get this CO2 out of our system. Is this making kind of sense? So, and these are still capillaries, by the way. Capillaries, that's where the gas exchange occurs. The capillaries. So these capillaries will get together and make slightly bigger